Hello. It's the 11th day of Christmas in Crazy Busy Women in Balance group. And on day 11, I want to give you the gift of self integrity. So here's the deal, and you know it to be true. When we're in survival mode, when we're in crazy busy swirl, we keep promises to absolutely everybody. We never want to let anybody down, but we let ourselves down every single day. We put ourselves last on the list, or even a miracle if we're on the list at all. We make promises to ourselves that we're going to get on the Peloton, go for a walk, eat healthy, not drink wine every night of the week, whatever it is. And we don't stay in integrity with ourselves. We break promises with ourselves and disappoint ourselves every day. But we would never do that to other people in our life, not at work and not in our personal life. Yet we do it to ourselves all the time. So, what would your life look like if you were in integrity with yourself? If you kept promises to yourself, and I'm not talking perfection here because that's just another way for you to beat yourself up. In our group, in our 10-week program, what we teach is making decisions based on your values versus pleasing and responsibility. Making decisions based on your values, you standing at the center of your life on a solid foundation of rock, knowing who you are, and making decisions based on your values, not disappointing other people, not pleasing other people. So in that world, you keep promises to yourself because you know that you're important. And so often when we're in survival mode and we're giving to everyone in our life, we never give to ourselves. And we talk about self-care, and I think we're even going to do that. I don't mean like doing your nails or which isn't even possible right now with COVID. You have to do your own. Those little things that we do that we find time for, even if you don't find time for that. I'm talking about staying in integrity with yourself, having time for yourself. It is not selfish to have time for yourself and do the things that you want to do or need to do to take care of yourself. And when we are out of integrity with ourselves by breaking promise after promise after promise of how we're going to take care of ourselves or what we're going to do for ourselves or the commitments we make to ourselves, and we keep on breaking those, ultimately we erode our trust in ourselves. And in that, we shut down a lot of our intuition and we start to doubt ourselves in other aspects of our life because how we do one thing bleeds into how we do everything else. And so we think we're not damaging ourselves because, like, when the planets are aligned and there's a moment in time where everybody's happy and work is calm, I get to give to myself and I'll hold promises to myself. Well, those days are few and far between. And we keep on going to the bottom of the list. We start to not take care of ourselves. We start to not even hear our own inner voice. We continually erode trust within ourselves about our own integrity to ourselves, self integrity. And it bleeds into other aspects of our life. And all of a sudden, we're doubting ourselves in a very many aspects of our life. The decision making starts to erode in the sense of trusting ourselves and trusting our intuition because we're out of integrity with ourselves. So, what the gift I want to give to you, always first and foremost, is awareness. Like, where in your life are you not keeping promises to yourself? And what do you do when that happens? So you get up in the morning, is the first thing you think of is, God damn it. Oh, sorry. Gosh darn it. um, I didn't, I slept in and I promised myself I would work out this morning and I slept in. Damn it, damn it, damn it. We start beating ourselves up. So when we're breaking promise with ourselves, what are we doing to ourselves right after that? We're beating ourselves up and we're doubling down on how mean we are to ourselves. And we're doubling down on negative energy. We're doubling down on contraction. And that doesn't propel us forward. That doesn't get us to keep promises. So what would your life look like if you were kinder to yourself and started keeping promises to yourself, putting yourself on the list, building back that self-integrity, that you are as important as everybody else? Believe it or not, you are the most important person in your life, because if you fall down, everything falls down. And so how good are you doing about keeping promises to yourself? How good are you in self-integrity? It is a huge part of transitioning out of the swirl, out of survival mode, out of crazy busy, and into fun, freedom, joy, and success. And the crazy thing is, when you take care of yourself first, you have so much more energy and joy to give to other people. And it doesn't feel like a burden anymore. So I just want you to ask these questions and be super aware. Where did you stop? When do you stop counting on yourself on behalf of yourself? And what I mean by that is, are you even on your own list? How often a day do you break promises to yourself? And not just in health and fitness, but that usually is at the top of the list. Women are always complaining that are starting to work with us about, how I don't take care of myself. And then there are the women that absolutely make that a priority because they see that as part of their success formula of staying strong at their work and in their life, but they're letting themselves down in other things, and they're feeling selfish, and they're literally terrible to themselves, talking bad about themselves, beating themselves up. They forget where their keys are, and they're like, what a jerk I am, I'm so stupid, and saying all this stuff. That is what happens when we're out of integrity with ourselves, is we just become so easily mean to ourselves. We would never talk to ourselves the way we talk to ourselves to a friend. We just wouldn't. And so what I want you to do is think about what integrity means. I know integrity is probably all of your core values, but you're not in integrity with yourself. And I'm telling you, once you fix that and you start to be aware of it and start making yourself and the promises you make to yourself an equal priority as the ones you make at work, at the ones you make at home, as the ones you make to your family and loved ones and friends, when you start doing that, there's a shift that happens. Trust comes back, inner trust comes back, strength comes back, joy starts to show up. So, we think that we're being selfless, and we were raised this way in a lot of ways. Good girl, be a good girl, always give, don't be too needy. All of these things, they're not serving us anymore. And they were, by the way, bad programming to begin with. And I don't think we're teaching our girls that anymore. But most of the women in my group, and the women that come to us and the women that sign up for our program, are anywhere from 35, 36 to their later 50s. And that programming is alive and well in them because they were taught as little girls to be good girls. And good girl meant, if don't put yourself first, put yourself last, give. And, at its core, those are great things to teach at a healthy level, but we have just totally and completely forgotten that we matter in our lives as much as everybody else, if not more. And that feels really overwhelming for women when I talk about that. It felt overwhelming for me because I never put myself first. I wasn't even on the list. I was not even close to the list. It felt selfish for me to do things for myself, take time for myself. And I would do it and then I'd feel guilty. So then I was just literally sucking all the juice out of the joy of that. And I want you to be aware of what you're doing to yourself. How many times you break promises to yourself and don't even think about it? How many times when you break that promise do you beat yourself up? How many times are you not trusting yourself because you're out of integrity with yourself? How many times are you even thinking about what you need? What do I need? I mean, this is all about self-integrity. Like, it's our friggin' life. If we're not at the center of our life, something is up, something is wrong. And we weren't taught that way. So that's maybe a novel idea for a lot of women out there. But it is the new way to live. And it is not selfish at all. Actually, it's incredibly healthy and it's incredibly strong. And it's living in your power. When we are in self-integrity with ourselves, we're living in our power. What we say we mean, our words and actions match on behalf of ourselves as well. That is full circle. So we do it every day seamlessly in our life on a to-do list that is longer than most people could even imagine. Seamlessly keep promises, follow through, hold our responsibilities. And yet we never or rarely do it for ourselves. So today is the day that you give back yourself the gift of self-integrity. Hold on to promises. Make promises for yourself and follow through on them and see what that feels like. A little lighter in your step, all of a sudden you're feeling a little better. Things seem a little brighter because we're into integrity in all aspects of our life. We matter. You matter. You matter as much as everybody else in your life, if not more. And so, what would it look like if you took care of yourself like you took care of everybody else in your life? If you didn't put yourself last on the list, you have proven every day of your life that you can get a lot of stuff done. I almost used another bad word. So add yourself to the list and prove that you can get that done too. Be in self-integrity, because as we break promises to ourselves and continually beat ourselves up, it erodes the trust in ourselves. It erodes our trust in our abilities to make decisions quickly, clearly, and confidently. We live usually in guilt more than joy, and we're exhausted all the time. All the time. Because we're giving to everybody else and we're not filling our own tank. And what's worse is when we fill our tank, because things have gotten so bad or we're so exhausted and we finally do it, we feel guilty about it. So that's got to stop. It's just got to stop. And it sounds like ridiculously hard, right? It's not. Start with baby steps. With everything, be aware first and just start in small changes, right? Today, I am going to ask myself what I need, and I'm going to get it for myself. What do I need? And get it. And do that 3 times a day. What do I need? And do it. In that moment, don't put it off. Because you do that in every other aspect of your life. Somebody calls and needs something, you make it happen no matter what's on your to-do list. What would your life look like if you called yourself and did it right then? It would be the same thing. Things would shift around on your to-do list. And guess what? Your superpower is getting stuff done. And you'd get stuff done anyways, but you'd do it in a higher energy. You'd be taking better care of yourself. And most importantly, building back trust in yourself, as well as being in integrity. Because when we're out of alignment with ourself and our values, and integrity, I'm certain, is every one of your values, then that's where the stress and the struggle and the swirl comes in. That's where the coping mechanisms come in. That's where our brain starts going because we don't want to feel. That's where negative self-talk comes in. All of that stuff happens because we're out of alignment with ourselves and our values. So today is the gift of self-integrity. Simple steps. Ask yourself what you need. A novel idea. When you're feeling tired, when you wake up in the morning, what do I need? And get it for yourself. In the middle of the day, before you go to bed, just 3 times a day. It can be whenever. What do I need? What do I want? And get it for yourself. And make yourself a priority and see what that starts to look like. Holding promises to yourself. Putting yourself on the list. That's self-integrity. And it's huge, and it will change so many things in your life. It'll be that teeny little door. And that's what we teach the women in our group. It's part of, a vast toolbox to go from crazy busy, exhausted, burnout, overwhelm, to freedom, joy, and success, and owning our power. In my group and in our 10-week program, I do a variety of things. I put all my executive coaching skills to bear because all of our women are crazy successful women who aren't happy, who are exhausted, who don't think that they stand in their power or haven't been fully realized in their life because something is blocking them, or they have core beliefs that they're not as important as everybody else, or they're never enough, or something's wrong with them. And we work on that and we rewrite it and we own ourselves and claim our power and stand in our power and communicate with power and live our life filled with dreams and joy, freedom, and success. I teach it every day. I have women in my program going through the 10-week program, transformed, totally transformed in their life. And it's time you do that for yourself. So start with self-integrity. And if you're interested at all in finding out about our 10-week program, go to crazybusywomen.com and watch our free masterclass or book a call and talk to one of our coaches. And let's get to the bottom of what's getting you stuck. And in the 11th day of our Christmas program, I'm giving you the gift of self-integrity. Give it back to yourself, will you? It'll change everything. Okay. Talk to you tomorrow. The 11th day of Christmas, self-integrity. You can do it. What do I need? Go get it. Make yourself a priority. Bye.